very, very action-packed morning. Plenty of swapping the places, close racing, a little bit of banging, sometimes on a little bit on the borderline. But this is all about entertainment, and there's more to come.
Yeah, absolutely right. Well, 2019 in Titans RX Europe is going to be very, very exciting indeed. Of course, we've had the 3 qualification sessions so far today, and of course, we've got the semi-finals coming up for you very, very shortly. Semi-final 1 and semi-final 2. 12 drivers involved in the semi-finals. Only 6 will go through to the final here this afternoon. So let's have a look, shall we, at who is going through into the semi-finals first of all here today. So as you can see on your screen at the moment, in semi-final 1 we will have Timmy Hansen, Toppy Heikkinen, Dan Rook, Ollie Webb, Tamara Molinaro and Perry McCarthy. And then in semi-final 2, straight after, it's Kevin Hansen, the younger of the Hansen brothers. Alongside him will be Andrew Jordan. Row 2 will be Nelson Piquet, Ronnie Searock. And then in the third row will be Shushu and Andreas Stefan. A very star-studded lineup and very unpredictable indeed. So let's see what will happen. You can see Kevin Hansen there just getting ready, getting belted up to get himself into the Pantera RX6 supercar here today. The drivers lining up on the grid. And of course, Titans RX Europe in 2019, a brand new series. So let's get ready to get this one underway very, very shortly. So semi-final 1 here at Lydden Hill. You can see the drivers lining up on the grid. Timmy Hansen, Toppy Heikkinen on the front row. That's pretty tantalising, isn't it, Ari?
Oh yes, oh yes.
Absolutely right. Well, here are the drivers then, and here is how they line up on the grid. Timmy Hansen on the inside. He's on pole position. Alongside him, Toppy Heikkinen, winner from round 3 yesterday. Dan Rook and Oliver Webb on row 2. And Tamara Molinaro, Perry McCarthy, his first ever final in Rallycross. He lines up on the back of the grid. So keep an eye out for him. He said he's just going to send it. He's got nothing to lose. So let's see what he's going to be able to do. This is on board with Toppy Heikkinen at the moment. His view down towards the first corner. He's on the outside. He's going to have to hope for a very, very good start from there. Timmy Hansen there on the inside in the dark blue Pantera. And keep an eye out also for Oliver Webb in the yellow and red machine, because he has been very quick so far this weekend. If he can turn things around and pull things together here in this semi-final, he will be in very, very good shape indeed. And also don't count out Tamara Molinaro here, Ari, as well. We know how quick she has been so far this weekend.
She's been very good this morning. Very good. Excellent, excellent. And they're getting better by a minute.
Absolutely right. Well, the cars are lined up on the grid. The fans are ready here at Lydden Hill. We hope you're ready watching at home or wherever indeed you are watching for Titans RX Europe semi-final 1. 6 cars on the grid ahead of this one. We're ready for the ready-to-race board. The Res Rise here at Lydden Hill, semi-final 1 for round 4 of Titans RX Europe at Lydden Hill is underway. Great launch from Heikkinen, great launch from Dan Rook as well. Is that going to compromise Timmy Hansen down to the first corner? No, it's not. He's got the inside line. He's got the whole shot, and he's got the race lead. Brilliant stuff there from Timmy Hansen. Ollie Webb goes for the outside line on Dan Rook for 3rd position there as well. Can he make something stick through there? No, he can't, and he's going to allow Tamara Molinaro to fall into the clutches of him there as well, as they come in towards the left-hander of the Devil's Elbow for the first time. But Ari, an absolutely textbook start there for Timmy Hansen. Exactly what he and Toppy Heikkinen needed to do.
That's right, because you need to win the start, and it's half the job is done, but let's see, there could be some swapping places.
Well, down in towards the bottom bend we go, paddock bend as it's known here at Lydden Hill, and you can see Timmy Hansen defending his position there. You can see Tamara Molinaro having to defend from Oliver Webb. She's gotten ahead now, but Webb is looking very menacing indeed behind the wheel of his number 4 machine, in towards the right-hander of Chesson Strip, this is called, as they go at the moment. And you can see Heikkinen beginning to pile the pressure onto Timmy Hansen. Of course, this doesn't only count for getting yourself into the final, it does count for where they will start in that final, crucially.
Yeah, Toppy hasn't had a very good run today, not the best of them, so if he could manage to get past Timmy Hansen, that would be fantastic. Let's see how we go. Outside, bit risky, didn't pay off yet. Maybe next corner.
No, absolutely not. Toppy Heikkinen signalling his intentions otherwise early doors here as they come down in towards that paddock end for the second time of asking. Over the timing line we go as we pass the flip-flop chicane to start the 3rd lap out of 6 here at Titans RX at Lydden Hill for semi-final 1. And Timmy Hansen doing a textbook job of defending exactly what we saw against brother Kevin in the qualifiers earlier on.
Yes, it seems that Toppy has got his car setting more suitable for the driver, because now the gap between him and and Timmy Hansen is very small compared to this morning.
Yeah, certainly so. Well, of course, the drivers competing in the wet yesterday, a completely different car setup they have as a lock-up on the right rear there for Timmy Hansen. Doesn't slow him down at all, doesn't manage to allow an opportunity for Heikkinen to get past. Look at Ollie Webb, though. He is trying to still get past Tamara Molinaro. He needs to get himself inside the top 3 at the moment. He is in 5th position, so he's not going to be able to do such a thing as things stand. But anything can happen in Rallycross, and we know how unpredictable it can be. So let's wait and see as things pan out. But Timmy Hansen still holding on to that race lead, and the top 2 of Hansen and Heikkinen breaking away from Dan Rook at the moment. Dan Rook, as things stand, will be the last driver to make it into the final from semi-final 1. You need to be in the top 3. Here comes Ollie Webb down the inside of Tamara Molinaro at the Devil's Elbow. What a brilliant move there from Ollie Webb. He gets the move done. He holds off the line. He holds off the switchback from Molinaro, and now he is up into 4th position.
Yeah, Tamara left the door open and she paid for it immediately, yes.
Certainly did. Well, through the Hairy Hill we go, and down Hairy Hill and in towards Paddock Bend, and Ollie Webb, well, he needs to have a bit of a minor miracle to try and catch up to Dan Rook. Meanwhile, Heikkinen versus Hansen is still not over as we're on the penultimate lap here at Lydden Hill. Through the left-hander, the right-hander we go rather, on towards the left-hander of the Devil's Elbow, which will follow very shortly. And these 2 drivers keeping their nose pretty clean as things stand, which is quite useful, because if they started squabbling, it might allow Dan Rook to close out.
Yeah, that's happened. They seem to be in a class of their own, and Topi is desperately.
Oh, here comes Heikkinen down the inside. Is he going to make that stick? He is!
Unbelievable!
Fantastic.
Fantastic overtaking.
What a move
well
there
done
from Topi Heikkinen down the inside for the race lead on the penultimate lap at the North Bend after Hairy Hill. And now it's Heikkinen versus Hansen for the victory as they come over the line to start their final lap of semi-final 1 here at Titans RX. Into the right-hander we go of Chesson's Drift. Heikkinen has to defend. Now Hansen has to attack. Can he do anything, though, as they come off of the gravel?
Exactly, that is fantastic overtaking. I didn't think that was possible. Yes, it was. Well, after all, Topi Heikkinen comes from Kareli, eastern part of Finland. That's what they are made of.
That is brilliant defensive driving there from Topi Heikkinen. He didn't allow Hansen to have the switchback, but Hansen goes for an outside lunge at the North Bend. Is he going to do something? Oh, there's contact between them as they're both on the handbrake. They're both still on the track. They're both still facing the right way. And Heikkinen is still in the race lead here as well. Down into Paddock Bend we go for the last time of Arctic. There's nothing Timmy Hansen can do to stop the charge of Topi Heikkinen. Heikkinen takes victory in semi-final 1 here at Lydden Hill. Hansen finishes 2nd, and Dan Rook makes it to the final here at Lydden Hill. He finishes in 3rd position. What an absolutely... In fact, no, I apologise. Something's happened to Dan Rook there on the last lap by the looks of things, because Molinaro has been classified in 3rd. So Tamara Molinaro makes it through to the final. Dan Rook has, I think, stopped on track or something like that, because he's gone tumbling down our timing order there, as you can see. So the upshot is it's now Heikkinen, Hansen and Tamara Molinaro who make it through to the grand final here at Lydden Hill. What has gone wrong for Dan Rook? We can see him touring on the slowdown here, but it looks like he's had a technical issue. That is so disappointing there for the British driver.
Very true, very true. He would have deserved it, to be on the final, but we don't know what happened. Technical issue, obviously.
Well, we're going to have a look at some highlights now and see if we can piece together what happened. So let's see what happened with semi-final 1 here at Lydden. So a great from the start. It was an absolutely brilliant launch from Timmy Hansen. Heikkinen slotting into 2nd place. You can see Ollie Webb was trying to go the long way round Dan Rook at the first corner. No opportunity presenting itself, and that allowed Tamara Molinaro to sneak through into 4th position here as well. Then it was Hansen versus Heikkinen. Those 2 began to stretch out quite a significant gap to Dan Rook. In the early stages, they were still going side by side for that race lead. There was no chance for Heikkinen to find a way through at this stage, but you could see Hansen was doing a textbook job of defending. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And this was Ollie Webb versus Tamara Molinaro as well. Molinaro defending at this point. Ollie Webb, though, clearly with a bit more pace behind him at this stage. He found his way up the inside of the Devil's Elbow, and Molinaro did obviously manage to find her way back through in the latter stages of that race. So you can see Webb here defending from Molinaro. Molinaro trying to get the switch back, trying to send it through up the inside. No opportunity presenting itself. Meanwhile, Timmy Hansen going through, and you can see him there leading the way as things stand. But then Heikkinen found his way back past. He took victory in semi-final 1. And Dan Rook, of course, with problems there on the last lap. So we go down to Rachel, who is with our brilliant winner from semi-final 1, Topi Heikkinen.
Yeah, Topi, that was crazy. Right at the end then, you just got it. Talk us through it.
Yeah, I saw that I had a really good pace in the semi-final, and I thought that Timmy were quicker, but he wasn't. But it was a great ride together with Timmy, and
I was electric.
Yeah. I had the issue, like there was a guy behind and we needed to make a cap, and then I saw like Timmy was scoring, like, oh, we're losing the time to the guys that he's coming on the same party. So then I thought, like, now it's time, and I took it. And
you did.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's brilliant. Well, look, thank you for talking to us, and hopefully we'll chat to you at the end. Back to you, Tom.
So, thank you very much indeed there, Rachel. Nice to hear from Toppy Haken, and said he did exactly what he needed to do there, basically, didn't he? That was a brilliant performance from him. He's in a prime position to be fighting for the victory again here today as he goes into the final.
Yes, because he was the morning was dominated by Hansen brothers, and this change in a position makes it very exciting for the afternoon, and it proves once again that your fate was not sealed. You know, there was a big surprise, and well, it was excellent move.
You can see the cars now heading out onto the grid for semi-final 2. There is Nelson Piquet, closely followed by Andrew Jordan in the number 77, making his Titans RX debut here. Of course, he is an international podium finisher back in 2014 here at Lydden Hill, is Andrew Jordan. Let's have a look at the results, though, for semi-final 1. As you can see, Toppy Hakkinen takes victory from Timmy Hansen and then Tamara Molinaro. Those three drivers make it through to the final here at Lydden Hill. Perry McCarthy finishes in 4th, Oliver Webb in 5th position, and then Dan Rook in 6th. Sadly, a DNF for the British driver. Disappointment there for Dan Rook, disappointment for Ollie Webb and Perry McCarthy there as well. Sadly, the British drivers not making it through to the final here at Lydden Hill. It's over to semi-final 2 then here at Lydden Hill, and here is how the grid will line up then. As you can see, the cars all lined up. So it's Kevin Hansen who starts on pole position. Alongside him, the number 77, Andrew Jordan. Row 2, Nelson Piquet Jr. and Ronnie Searock, the German stunt driver. Row 3, the Hungarian driver Shushu, who's been in the wars today, and alongside him, the Swiss Andreas Steffen. So the cars lined up then on the grid. The clouds overhead here at Lydden Hill. Semi-final 2 about to get underway very, very shortly in 2x2 formation, of course, here for these semi-finals. And it's going to be very interesting to see who will get the best launch and whether anybody can take advantage of Kevin Hansen's pole position down towards that first corner. So the marshal at the front of the grid, as soon as they point to that lighting gantry, as they do so now, then we will be ready to race. So the marshal departs from the grid. Semi-final 2 here at Lydden Hill as the revs begin to rise is about to get underway. Are we ready? Yes, we are. Wait for lights out and blast off. Good start there from Nelson Piquet. What an absolutely brilliant launch, but no room to use it as Kevin Hansen has the inside line. But here comes Piquet down the inside of Andy Jordan. Oh, dearie me, Ronnie Searock hits the back of Nelson Piquet and spins round at the first corner. Huge drama for the German, but Piquet versus Jordan side by side. Here comes Jordan down the inside of the Devil's Elbow. He's into second place. They run side by side still up the hairy hill and in towards the hairpin we go. Jordan with the inside line, Piquet on the outside, leaning on one another. Jordan has track position, Piquet has no room to be able to use it, and it's still Kevin Hansen that leads the way. Now from Andy Jordan and then Nelson Piquet.
Good start, excellent start, exciting and yeah, you know, really unpredictable. That's how it should be.
Exactly what we love in terms of rallycross, but now Nelson Piquet will have the bit between his teeth because Jordan there was being very aggressive. Will he be able to try and do something before the end of these 6 laps? At the moment, it's Hansen, Jordan and Piquet Jr. who are the drivers that are going to be making their way through into the final here this afternoon at Lydden Hill. You can see the door open there on Piquet's Pantera RX6 supercar. Ronnie Searock there in 4th position, Andreas Steffen, and then Shushu in the mix there as well. In fact, I think it was Shushu who got involved in that drama at the first corner as opposed to Ronnie Searock. Let's have a look and see what happens. Yeah, Shushu's quite a way down the order, so it is indeed Shushu, the Hungarian driver, who got involved in that strife at turn number 1. Apologies to Ronnie Searock there, going down through. Over the line we go to start the 3rd lap out of 6 here at Lydden Hill. You can see Andrew Jordan there. You can see Nelson Piquet, who's closing up on the back of him. Nice tight lines from both of them through Chestnut Strip. Down in towards the left-hander of the Devil's Elbow we go. And will Piquet be able to do anything? This is where he crashed in the semi-finals yesterday in the torrentially wet conditions. No such dramas for the Brazilian driver here today. Revenge is on his mind, and getting into that final with a better spot on the grid is what he wants to do. And if he finishes in 2nd, he'll be starting higher up than if he finishes in 3rd. So it does matter where he finishes out on track, of course, here for Nelson Piquet. You can see him piling the pressure all on the back of Andy Jordan here. Jordan defending with every ounce of talent that he has, but you can sense that Piquet is going to try something here, Aaron.
Well, all day long they have had this battle between Jordan and Piquet, and so far Piquet has not been able to pass Jordan in the earlier heat. So let's see what happens now.
Oh, Piquet's not a problem. Piquet's got a technical issue here. You can see smoke pouring from the rear of his Pantera RX6 supercar. It looks like Nelson Piquet has a technical issue, and he does. He pulls off to the side of the track, and that is
maybe a flat tire, maybe.
Yeah, it is. He's got a puncture on the left rear. You can see that quite clearly. Absolute disaster for Nelson Piquet. Suspension. It's not a puncture. It's the left rear suspension is completely kaput there for Nelson Piquet. That allows Ronnie Searock then to go into the final as things stand. So Christmas come early for the German driver as Kevin Hansen is leading the way commandingly, a 2.8 second advantage he has over Andrew Jordan there in second place. The good news here for Andy Jordan is, Larry, of course, it lets the pressure off him a little bit here.
That's right, but Andy has done an excellent race all day today, so he deserves to be high in the leaderboard.
Well, there we go. Disappointment there for Nelson Piquet Jr. And of course, that does mean that he won't be going through to the final. It's a bit of an interesting one, isn't it? Because, of course, Dan Rook was running in third position when he had his technical gremlins in semi-final one. And, of course, Nelson Piquet was in exactly the same position when he had his dramas in semi-final two here.
It hasn't been really the day of Nelson Piquet, the least one would say.
Yeah, luck has not been on his side at all. I think that's the understatement of the century there for Nelson Piquet. The good thing is it's only 3 weeks until Montalegre, rounds 5 and 6 of the Titans RX series, so plenty of time for him to recalibrate and refocus and try and get himself a strong result next time out in Portugal. Meanwhile, Kevin Hansen is leading the way very comfortably indeed. Going through the hairpin we are now, and out down Hairy Hill as we go towards that paddock bend for the final time of asking. It has been an absolutely superlative drive from Kevin Hansen. He's taking it nice and easy. That's all he needs to do. He goes through the final corner now. Over the line, Kevin Hansen takes victory in semi-final two. Andrew Jordan will come across the line in second position. And the German, Ronnie Searock, finishes in third place here at Lydden Hill. He makes his way through to the final. Andreas Stefan Shushu, who was involved in that strife at the first corner, do not make it through. And of course Nelson Piquet having to retire because of that broken left rear suspension on his Pantera RX6 supercar. Sadly has a DNF. His day will go no further here this afternoon than semi-final two.
I wonder if Nelson Piquet, if he hit something, or because otherwise normally suspension doesn't collapse like that, but maybe some nuts were untightened, you never know.
Yeah, we didn't quite see what happened. Well, Kevin Hansen took victory in semi-final two. Very impressive stuff. Let's have a look at highlights from semi-final two then, shall we? And piece together that exciting race. So away from the lights, Andy Jordan got a good start. Nelson Piquet had an absolute lightning getaway, but he had no room to try and use it. Here was into the first corner. Yeah, Shushu too late there on the brakes. Spun himself round after a bit of contact into the back of Andy Jordan and Nelson Piquet, and that sadly was his race pretty much run. Here was Piquet versus Andy Jordan. They were leaning on one another at the North Bend. You can see Piquet there having to turn left in a right-hander, not the way you want to be going around the Lydden Hill circuit. And then he began to pile the pressure onto Andrew Jordan as Kevin Hansen extended his lead in the front of this race. He closed up quite significantly on the back of him, but then it all came undone. Broken left rear suspension for Nelson Piquet. Big drama for the Brazilian, and that is disappointing to end his race in such disappointing and unfortunate circumstances. Kevin Hansen, though, a commanding lights the flag victory in semi-final two. Meanwhile, let's cross down to Rachel, who is with Timmy Hansen.
Yeah, with Timmy. I've also got Perry here as well. Timmy, talk us through. Are you feeling frustrated? How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, of course. I started on pole, so of course I want to win. I wanted to win this semi, but Toppy was fast. He kept me under pressure the whole time. I had to keep going defensive, and then I could never pull a gap because of that. Because I had to go defensive lines all the time. So finally, he got past me.
Yeah.
Then I tried to get past him on the last lap. Didn't work. So now I'm in third position probably for the final, and it's gonna be me who do the chasing.
Oh, I like that. Thanks so much. Good luck. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you very much there, Race. Nice to hear from Timmy Hansen. He's going to be going out all guns blazing into the final here this afternoon at Lydden Hill. So Kevin Hansen, Andrew Jordan and Ronnie Searock make it through to the final here at Lydden Hill. Andreas Stefan, Shushu and Nelson Piquet Jr. sadly missing out after what was a very exciting semi-final two here at Lydden Hill in Kent for round 4 of Titans RX Europe. We're really looking forward to the final coming along the way very shortly. Of course, we've got the British Supercars final coming for you here at Lydden Hill very, very shortly indeed. You can see the marshals lining up on the grid here as things stand. We'll run you through who is there. That is René Munich, who will be starting from pole position. He will be on the inside. There is Julian Godfrey's Fiesta. He is in the number 51. Really good to see Julian Godfrey. We've actually got the 10-car final here.
After his massive spin yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. He did have a big old spin.
Several of them.
You're completely right there. Here then is Donnelly in the number 66. Keep an eye out for him because he's pretty quick behind the wheel of that C4 is Mark Donnelly. Could be a bit of a dark horse. He's starting from the outside of that front row of the grid. It's a different grid format for these British Supercars, so 10 cars in this final. That is going to be very tantalising there. You can see there Roger Thomas just lining up on that second row of the grid in the Ford Fiesta. And then, of course, it is Mandy August in the Seat Ibiza who lines up alongside him. Keep an eye out for those two Seat Ibizas, both run by the Munich Motorsport outfit who have competed on the international stage. Now, what about Ollie Bennett? He had a bit of a Gordon Bennett moment yesterday out on track because he sent it straight to the scene of the accident at the first corner. He said on Friday, he said, I'm going to do full send in this Ford Fiesta that he's driving, and he did that into circumstances he wasn't quite prepared for because he sent it straight to the scene of the accident at the first corner in his first race of the weekend. Andy Grant alongside him, and this is the number 4 of Steve Hill in the Mitsubishi Lancer EV. Keep an eye out for Steve Hill. He starts from that third row of the grid. There is Andy Grant in his Ford Focus, the red machine. Very easy to distinguish him because, of course, he's got that number plate on the back of the car. And this is the thing we love about these supercars. Of course, you've got cars of all different ages, shapes and sizes. So lots of different machinery and a huge depth of talent up and down the field. You can see all the cars then lined up on the grid. When I said, of course, it was 10 cars, of course I did mean 8 cars, as you can see. 8 cars lined up on the grid here now for this final for the British Supercars support class here at Lydden Hill. All the drivers ready to race. Lights out then and blast off. Good start from René Munich there on the inside. Keep an eye out though for the Ford Fiesta, and also Martin Donnelly, who goes for the outside line there. Mark Donnelly, I should say rather. Oh, and look at that big drama as Mandy August goes straight into the barrier at the Chesham Drift. Huge drama, and look at Ollie Bennett trying to pile the pressure onto the back of Julian Godfrey, but René Munich still holds on to his race lead. These drivers, of course, in this British Supercar class will be taking the Joker lap. We saw Mark Donnelly doing that early doors. Here comes Ollie Bennett trying to send it down the inside at the top of Hairy Hill. He's not able to find his way through. There is Mark Donnelly meanwhile, and there is Steve Hill in the background as well in his Mitsubishi Lancer Evo. Big drama here as well, as you can see. Look at that as Ollie Bennett is getting very, very racy indeed behind Julian Godfrey. Both of these drivers in Ford Fiestas, but of course very different ages, those cars, as you can see. And look there at Julian Godfrey as he gets it nice and flat out and sideways. When is he going to joker though? When is Ollie Bennett going to joker? What are their tactics going to be in this race? No such dramas though for the man in the race lead at the moment of René Munich behind the wheel of that Munich Motorsport Seat Ibiza. As they come up Hairy Hill for the second time of asking, hard on the brakes we go in towards that left-hander. Keep an eye out also for Roger Thomas there in the black Ford Fiesta. He's been very quick so far this weekend. Very similar car to the likes of Ollie Bennett, who was just in front of him. As we come down in towards that paddock bend once again, when are they going to joker though? That is the crucial question. What about René Munich there as they come over the timing line? Now, Ollie Bennett does joker. He decides to get out of the traffic of Julian Godfrey. Good move there from Ollie Bennett. That's what he needs to do. He needs some clear air to run and try and get the overcut over Julian Godfrey, this man in second place. Meanwhile, René Munich still leads the way. He hasn't jokered yet as we're on this third lap here in these British Supercars. Up the hill we go, in towards the right-hander of the North Bend, getting that car nice and sideways. He's got a good amount of traction, a good advantage over the rest of the field as things stand. Down in towards that paddock bend we go with your race leader, René Munich, getting that car nice and sideways. He's very comfortable behind the wheel of that machine. He's got a lot of experience here in Lydden Hill. Does he go to joker? Not this time around, so he's going to try and do that at the last possible opportunity by the looks of things for René Munich as well. There is Julian Godfrey, still doesn't joker. Meanwhile, we know, of course, that Ollie Bennett, he did joker last time around. Now, here is Mark Donnelly He and Ollie Bennett are going side by side. Ollie Bennett is now behind Mark Donnelly, so that early joker for Donnelly has paid off in huge dividends, and now Ollie Bennett has got to get past the Citroen C4 as they go in towards the Devil's Elbow. He's not able to find a way through there at the moment, but a little bit wide for Donnelly. That might allow Ollie Bennett to try and close up. Not quite close enough. Is he going to send a lunge down the inside? Yes, he is. He's on the grass. That's very aggressive indeed from Ollie Bennett, but he gets the move done. Brilliant move there from the British driver here on home soil. Down in towards Paddock Bend we go once again. Great racing here in these British supercars. Oh, but a bit wide there from Bennett. Will that compromise his drive going on to the start finish straight? No, it doesn't. He's got it all gathered up, and he looks to be pretty commanding out in front of this race. I think Julian Godfrey might have just been thinking about his joker there. I didn't quite see if he managed to take it, because we were looking at this battle between Bennett and between of course, Mark Donnelly here, but going through into the left-hander, you can see Rob Thomas there in the background, and also Mandy August, who sent it into the barrier at turn 1 on the opening lap here. Up in towards the hairpin we go. No room for Donnelly to try and fight his way back past Oliver Bennett as things stand. You can still see off in the distance, you've got Julian Godfrey, and of course further off into the distance it is Rennie Munich. But when are those two drivers going to joker? Surely they're going to be thinking about it. Steve Hill there on the outside. He's retired from this race. Technical problems for the British driver. That is disappointing for him behind the wheel of his Mitsubishi Evo. He'll be hoping to try and turn things around next time out in the British Rallycross Championship. He comes sliding through Cheston's Drift here. Out of the gravel section we go in towards the left-hander of the Devil's Elbow. All of these cars relatively close out on circuit. Here is Rennie Munich, meanwhile, the number 77, leading the way very, very commandingly here in this final for the British supercars. Into the right-hander we go, sliding his way through there. As I said earlier on, look how comfortable he is. He comes around the final corner, he comes over the line, and he takes victory in the British supercars support class final here at Titans RX Europe. Brilliant race from him. We didn't see his joker, we didn't see Julian Godfrey's joker, but they did manage to get it very nicely done, and they hold on to first and second position, with Oliver Bennett getting the better of Mark Donnelly right at the very end of that race, and he finishes in third position. So those are your top 3 finishers here at Lydden Hill. Rennie Munich there celebrating to the crowd, the arm out of the door. He's very happy with that result. A Leicester flag victory for the German driver in his own car here at the Lydden Hill circuit in Kent. Brilliant driving from him. He's got a lot of experience here, as we said, of course, having competed on the international stage for many, many years for Rennie Munich, and you can tell that experience proved to be very beneficial for him there as well. Good driving also from Julian Godfrey behind the wheel of his Fiesta. He was very quick yesterday in the qualifying races that we had here at Lydden Hill, so that is going to be a very tantalising prospect to see those guys battling, of course, here at Lydden when they come back here in August for the British Rallycross Championship. So our focus now does switch to Titans RX Europe once again. The final along the way very, very shortly. This man here, Andrew Jordan, he was going full send in the semis, and let's see whether he's going to be able to do something very, very similar in the final. Anyway, British Rallycross was hugely exciting. Let's have a look, shall we, at the highlights from that final here at Lydden Hill. So then you can see Rennie Munich with an absolutely brilliant start. Mark Donnelly immediately going for the joker there on the outside, as well as Julian Godfrey slotted into second position. Oliver Bennett got his elbows out as Mandy August sent it into the barrier at the Cheston's Drift. Then you can see Julian Godfrey coming under a lot of pressure from Oliver Bennett as they try to find their way through and battle amongst one another. Through the right-hander they went of the North Bend, and then down Hairy Hill. Rennie Munich still leading the way quite commandingly. After the joker, Oliver Bennett had to fight his way back through and get himself past Mark Donnelly. He managed to do so very nicely indeed. Got track position, pulled away from the Citroen C4 driver, and then he was into that podium position crucially for him. There is Rennie Munich, though, a commanding victory for the German driver. A brilliant result for him and the Munich Motorsport team here at Lydden Hill. So then, Titans RX Europe, final time on the way very shortly. You can see the drivers lined up here on the pre-grid. There is Andy Jordan's car that we saw a few minutes ago. There is Tamara Molinaro. And I think it's difficult here, Harry, to overstate just how impressive it is for Tamara Molinaro. It's her first ever season in Rallycross. She's come from the world of rallying, and she's made it into 2 finals here at Lydden.
Yeah, it's one thing to do a very good special stage time and to run against the clock. But when you have to take into account other cars which are on track, and when you are not used to it, it's a new ball game altogether. But she's very well adapting and very fast, and when she gets more practice, I mean, we can expect her to be even on a podium in a rallycross.
Well, if this is your first time tuning into Titans RX Europe, of course, you might be a bit unfamiliar with the format and how things are set to play out over the course of our race weekends. So let's get you up to speed, shall we, and have a look at the rules and regulations of Titans RX Europe in 2019. RX Europe, presented by Papyrus Converse, will hold 12 race days over the course of 6 double-header weekends in 6 different countries. A race winner is crowned at the end of each day, and a series winner at the end of the season. There will be 3 qualifying sessions, where the highest points are awarded for the final race position, as well as some extra points for the fastest overall time. This forces drivers to overtake if they want more points, and reduces the influence of track and weather conditions. As in classic rallycross, the top 12 drivers compete in the semi-finals, and the top 6 face off in the final. Qualifying sessions have 5 laps, semi-finals have 6 laps, and finals have 7 laps. The Joker lap now becomes a penalty lap, and screens on track will tell drivers if they need to take a penalty lap instead of a spotter. Combined with the one-designed Pantera RX6 supercar, these rules will push drivers to overtake, creating exciting racing for the fans on track and our live viewers on Eurosport. To learn more, check out our website at titansrx.eu. Now, what about this man here, Topi Heikkinen, winner of round 3 yesterday? Do you think he can convert that into a win for round 4?
Well, he went really remarkably better on the last heat, because this morning he was lacking something. He told me that his car was understeering, and of course we'll all know what understeering means. It means that your car goes nose first, doesn't want to turn, and if that is not your driving style, some drivers like Walter Röder used to drive like, but Topi wants an oversteering car, and now obviously on the last round his car was oversteering, less understeering, and you saw the difference in speed. So it's all open, all possible, but of course to beat Hansen brothers, easier said than done.
What about Ronnie Searock as well? We weren't expecting him to be making it into the final. He fortunately took advantage of Dan Rook's misfortune and is here in the final. Do you think he can take the fight to the guys on the front 2 rows of the grid?
Well, it's not impossible, but it's an uphill struggle for him, to be honest. And same for Tamara. Tamara, I am really happy to see her here in the lineup. But of course, it's going to be tough.
Here are the drivers on the grid then. Kevin Hansen and Topi Heikkinen on the front row. Timmy Hansen and Andrew Jordan are on row 2. And row 3 is Ronnie Searock and Tamara Molinaro. That is the lineup for the final here at Titans RX Europe at Lydden Hill. So then, tension begins to rise. An earthly silence falls on the Lydden Hill circuit before the revs will begin to rise, and we will get ready to get the final underway here. Round 4 of Titans RX Europe, the final at Lydden Hill is underway. Really good start there from Kevin Hansen from pole position. Timmy tries to follow him through, and look at Topi Heikkinen losing out massively as he gets shoveled towards the outside line through Chesson Strip. Andrew Jordan's going to come through up the inside as well of Heikkinen, and big airball moment there from Ronnie Searock in 4th place as they go through Chesson Strip in towards the left hand of the Devil's Elbow for the first time we go. Timmy Hansen is just behind brother Kevin, and now look as well at Heikkinen leading on Andy Jordan. He finds his way through up the inside. Brilliant bit of driving there for these guys as they come in towards the right-hander at the top of Hairy Hill. Brilliant racing, absolutely fantastic start, and textbook there from Kevin Hansen as well as he leads the way. But here is Andy Jordan defending his Topi Heikkinen just in front, cuts across the nose of the British driver on home soil. He's not able to find a way past his Andy Jordan as things stand, but that was hugely exciting there and very impressive from both Hansen brothers.
Exactly, their start was for a really copybook performance, and Timmy got past Topi as well. Then let's see what happens now.
Andy Jordan there, meanwhile, he's in the middle of a bit of a sandwich at the moment. He's in that unfortunate position of having to attack and defend at the same time. He wants to attack against Topi Heikkinen, but he's got to try and defend because he's got a mirror full of Ronnie Searock at the moment. Down in towards that hairpin we go for the next time of asking. Ronnie Searock is getting very late on the brakes and trying to find his way through against the British driver as they come down in towards Paddock Bend for the second time out of 7 of asking here at Lydden Hill. Through the right-hander we go, and then in towards that last chicane and over the timing line, but Kevin Hansen still leads the way from Timmy Hansen. Topi Heikkinen, though, that final spot on the podium is still very much up for grabs here. So coming down in towards the left-hander of the Devil's Elbow we go. And what is going through Andrew Jordan's mind here, do you think, at the moment? He's got to try and find his way through. He wants a podium on home soil.
Of course, exactly. So he knows that he's better than what the results have been so far. So, of course, he wants to find any hole to get past.
Gaffer tape flailing on Kevin Hansen's car there, rather, as he goes through the right-hander. These guys have been a little bit in the wars in the qualifying sessions today. You'll have to catch up a little bit on that if you haven't seen them so far, because they are absolutely tantalising. As we go through that chicane, then over the line we go to start the 4th lap out of 7 now. Here at Lydden Hill, through the right-hander we are, and Toppy Hakkinen doing a really good job of just bridging out that gap to Andrew Jordan in 3rd position. And I tell you what, he's actually closing on Timmy Hansen here in 2nd position.
Yes and no. Well, Hansen brothers they have a commanding way to handle things at the moment, so it's you know, they're unthreatened really for the time being.
No way through there at the moment for Toppy Hakkinen as he just still tries to close that gap. There's Tamara Molinaro in 6th position. No such luck for her to join this battle as things stand at the moment. Here though is Kevin Hansen, the young Swede. Brilliant job. It's a Hansen 1-2 as things stand, but reversed from the result we had of round 2 at Essay last time out in France. Very impressive stuff from the Hansen brothers nonetheless. We saw them going door handle to door handle last time out on the circuit. Very interesting to see whether those two are able to battle in these last couple of laps, but that gap is quite significant, so I don't think it's going to be something that they will be doing at the moment. Not something that Kevin Hansen wants to get involved in. He just wants to drive a nice clean race and take a lights to flag victory if he's able to do so.
Yeah, I'm sure the Hansen brothers, there's a bit of a gap between them, and in any case, I can't see them doing anything brutal and aggressive between themselves.
Well, Toppy Hakkinen there, that gap has just begun to decrease a little bit more. It's down to a couple of car lengths, as you can see the bonnet flapping away on Kevin Hansen's car. No such luck for Hakkinen to close up onto the back of Hansen a little bit more. Where Hansen is strong is where Hakkinen is weak, and where Hakkinen is strong, that is where Hansen is weak, so it kind of balances out amongst one another. But Hakkinen, unless he's very late on the brakes and tries a lunge into the north.
Toppy Hakkinen is closing up on a Hansen brother, so a couple of remaining laps.
Look at this, he's closer than he's been before.
Now. Yes, exactly. The only one thing in his mind is, how can I get past now?
Exactly, how can I get past? We're going on to the final lap, so he's going to have to think about that very quickly indeed as we go through the gravel after Paddock Bend and on to the final lap. Through into Cheshunt's Drift we go as we ride on board with Toppy Hakkinen. Is the finish driver going to think about a lunge? He is! He's down the inside of Timmy Hansen at Cheshunt's Drift on the final lap. Hansen's out wide, he could be set to lose out to Andy Jordan if he's not careful here. But Hakkinen, a very aggressive move there at Cheshunt's Drift. He finds his way through into 2nd position as they go through the left-hander. No such trouble for Kevin Hansen as he comes to the top of Hairy Hill. But that battle for 2nd place, is it over? Has Hakkinen got that position? Is anybody else going to be able to do anything? Will they be able to try and find a way past? Oh, look at that contact between Hansen and Hakkinen down the hill into the right-hander of Paddock Hill. There we go. Up the inside is Hansen. Here comes Andy Jordan as well. Kevin Hansen takes victory, but who gets 2nd place? Who is going to get 2nd over the line? It's so close between them. Absolutely unbelievable here at Titans RX, and it's Timmy Hansen who takes 2nd, and Hakkinen loses out to Andy Jordan on the line. Huge drama here in the final. Andrew Jordan made it into the podium. He gets a podium on home soil at Lydden Hill. Absolutely fantastic. What a final lap, and what a final series of corners.
Exactly. Couldn't hope for a better finish. Really exciting, and these incredible changes I did not believe.
Kevin Hansen takes his first event victory of Titans RX Europe. He stopped the car on the circuit just before the Devil's Elbow. He's going to go out and he's going to celebrate with the fans here at Lydden Hill. He stands on the roof. Kevin Hansen is on top of the world here at Lydden Hill in Kent. What an absolutely brilliant performance from the number 71. He takes victory in front of the crowd here. You can see him celebrating there. Well, that was absolutely fantastic. What a showman as well.
Yeah, exactly indeed. Like Peter Solberg is, well, because this is all about soul, this is all about entertainment, and Hansen brothers, they know how to do it. And now the younger brother is he was doing very well indeed. But I'm sure they remain very much in the speaking terms in the family.
Kevin Hansen does take victory then. Let's have a look at the final race results from the final here at Lydden Hill. for round 4 of Titans RX. Kevin Hansen takes victory. Timmy Hansen in second, just 0.2 of a second separating himself and Andrew Jordan at the line. Topi Heikkinen misses out on the podium by less than 0.3 of a second. As you can see there, brilliant racing all round. Ronnie Searock and Tamara Molinaro also in and amongst the mix during that final here for round 4 of Titans RX Europe. Kevin Hansen just coming down into the pit lane there, as we can see him on that cool-down lap. He is going to be absolutely elated. We spoke to Susan Hansen just before. She said, of course, she doesn't have a favourite amongst the two boys, but I tell you what, Kevin Hansen, well, he'll be getting an extra slice of cake or whatever his treat is after the race following that one. Timmy Hansen as well with a brilliant race for the Hansen brothers. It's a 1-2 for the Hansens once again here in Titans RX Europe, but this time it's reversed. Last time, as you can hear, Hansen's car revving away here at Lydden Hill as well. Smoking away it is after that one. Absolutely brilliant. Let's see the emotion of him getting out of the car here at Lydden. There he is, and you can hear him as well, celebrating with the Titans RX crew, celebrating with his team. And Father Kenneth is down there as well, and he will be in amongst the mix. There's Timmy. There are the brothers embracing one another. Look at that. I don't think anything more needs to be said. Well, away from the lights, Kevin Hansen got a very good start indeed. You can see Topi Heikkinen had the outside line as Timmy Hansen followed him through, and also Andrew Jordan getting in amongst the mix. Ronnie Searock getting a bit airborne there as well as he tried to find his way past. Lots of big drama on this opening lap as Heikkinen lead on Andrew Jordan to get himself up into that podium position. He wasn't quite able to find his way past there. You can see lots of great racing action as Kevin Hansen extended that lead, pulled out that advantage. Timmy Hansen, meanwhile, came under all sorts of pressure in the closing stages, with Topi Heikkinen closing up and Andrew Jordan following here as well. This was absolutely fantastic, wasn't it? Look at Hansen, he's coming under pressure from Heikkinen here, defending with every ounce of talent and skill that he has. Heikkinen had a lunge on the last lap. He run Hansen out wide, and that allowed Andy Jordan to get in amongst the mix there as well. It all came to a head as they were going side by side. This is what we didn't see on track as they went in towards that final corner. They were so close as Kevin Hansen took the victory. Over to the line it was, and you can see Andrew Jordan snuck ahead of Topi Heikkinen right at the very end of that one and got himself onto the podium. His first podium at Lydden Hill since 2014 on an international championship. So then let's take a look at the final confirmation of the results from round 4 of Titans RX Europe. Kevin Hansen takes his first event win in Titans RX here at Lydden Hill. Timmy Hansen in second and Andrew Jordan in third position. Here you can see the point standings. Topi Heikkinen in fourth, Ronnie Searock in fifth, Tamara Molinaro in sixth, Perry McCarthy in seventh place, Andreas Steffen there in ninth, Oliver Webb in eighth rather, and Oliver Webb in ninth place, Shushu in 10th, Dan Rook down in 11th, Nelson PK, he'll be hoping for a better job next time out in 12th position, Abby Eaton 13th, Ronnie Sample 14th, and Jerome Grosjean down there in 15th position. But a very exciting Titans RX Europe. Don't forget, of course, we will be back in Montalegre in Portugal in a few weeks' time. Here are the series standings then. So Kevin Hansen is now the series leader of Titans RX Europe in 2019. He is 1 point ahead of Topi Heikkinen. Timmy Hansen on 81 points there in third position as well. Then there's a bit of a gap back to the fourth place man of Ronnie Searock. Jerome Grosjean in fifth, Molinaro in sixth, Steffen, Shushu, Padden, of course, who competed in SA last time out, Ollie Webb, Andrew Jordan in 11th, Nelson PK Jr., and the rest of the field, as you can see a little bit further down. Abby Eaton propping up the 18 drivers who have competed in Titans RX Europe so far in 2019.